After the fallout of World War III, memes were split in two, Cockpublican and Libtard. This started the era known as the Internet too.
Jack, I've got some important info. The White House has finally given us the green light for the viral mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the viral mission. The future of net neutrality depends on it. If it fails, posting Doge might become impossible.
Viral mission? Sounds like some kind of Zoomer gibberish.
Don't get cocky, this isn't some unranked game.
Right, so what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a communist scientist requested asylum on the Pentagon's private chat using a hidden IP. His name is Roger Armour Snuggles Dingledine. He's a project head under our Trollolol Research Center, one of the world's top programmers, and a foremost expert on Warhammer lore.
Dingledine? Isn't he that famous computer nerd?
The very same. On April the 12th, 2021, the Ruski government launched their first militarized server bank into space.
That's a lot of effort for some storage.
Indeed. A program said to be on board that server bank was Tor 2, known as the Onion Router 2. Dingledine is said to be the man that made the program in that rocket. After Tor 2's first alleged test up there, Dingledine left the project to become leader of the leftist newly established Trollolol Research Center.
From a lowly programmer to the moderator of an official center. So why do you want to switch sides?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he abandoned his project and his life and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his cloud saves were transferred too. We used a leech to get the data out first, and succeeded in sneaking Dingledine through the sentry zone shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the red side was full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Dingledine over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him in for an Adderall dosage. It took 2 weeks and over 900 terabytes of mobile data to transfer his files across. He was in no condition to say anything coherent, and it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The copyright crisis.
October 16th, 2022. President Young Kennedy received word that the Reds were preparing triple strike level claims on YouTube. The West demanded that the socialists drop the CCs. At the same time, a naval blockade stopped Amazon Prime packages from reaching either side. But the leftists didn't back down, instead blocking all tweets and putting the West into panic mode. Virtual signaling creator support continued against alt-right. Red-pilled and blue-pilled users went on alert for all-out mutual assured deletion. Frantic negotiations were conducted through Keemstar's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October 28, the Soviets agreed to remove its copyright strikes from social media. And so the world avoided a content holocaust. But in order to get the Reds to pull their strikes out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the West agreed to remove its pinned posts from Trump?
No. The Trump comments pinned on Twitter were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. Their strategic value whatsoever as funnies or spam. The Trump deal was a ruse. A cover story that was fed to the other sub-thread discussions around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Dingledine. They wanted us to return Dingledine.
You mean the Soviets stopped the Holocaust just to get their hands on Dingledine?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Dingledine or risk full-scale DDoS attacks. In the end, we had no choice. President Young Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Dingledine out of the hospital and handed him over to the retards on the eastern side. Dingledine kept on screaming "cuck" until he disappeared from him. Then, a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About DD?
Yes. He was taken back to the Trololo facility and forced to continue working on Tour 2 under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So, what kind of browser is it? Something to do with VPNs?
No, censorship.
So, the opposite?
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of reverse adblock device. For years now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent tests on Facebook boomers.
Something to do with the program, I assume.
We're talking about a secret browser so powerful that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of YouTube to get it.
Is Dingledine still in the facility?
According to our intelligence, he's at their 8G antenna, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west of what's known as the Cancer Cliffs.
The Cancer Cliffs. Ironic name, so close by the mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the program, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the Trololo facility. This is our last chance. Dingledine must have known that too when he contacted us. Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to find Dingledine in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of his work, and bring him back to the West. If we don't get Dingledine back before that program is complete, we'll be facing some major bridge. Snake, the time is 4 p.m.
You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short.